Good day everyone, my name is Charles Hill G. Espinosa from English 2B, and today I'm going to discuss about the considerations in evaluating multicultural young adult literature. In evaluating young adult literature, there are a lot of things to consider. So in this discussion, we are going to identify two of those considerations. So the first one will be the literary qualities. When evaluating literary qualities, there are two questions we need to consider. The first is, does the book meet the qualifications for good literature? So what makes a good literature? Here are the 5 essential qualities of a good literature. First, literature should have a theme. When coming up with a literary work, it is very essential to have a theme because this is what gives your writing direction. From start to finish, your work should be linked to the overall theme, meaning that whatever issues you chose to address through your work must all contribute towards the broad theme. Second, it should explain the relevance of the theme. As a writer, you are essentially looking to share your worldview to your audience. Therefore, as you select a theme that you will go with, you must also creatively let the audience know what the relevance of the theme is to them. At the end of the day, audience will only appreciate literary works that have some relevance to their day-to-day lives. Third, literature should have a compelling idea. The only way to keep your readers or listeners glued to your literature is if it communicates compelling idea that your audience can relate to. It doesn't matter if the piece of literature is a work of fiction or reality. It's the idea that communicating that will compel your audience to keep reading or listening as they anticipate knowing what the conclusion is. Fourth, literature should have a good style and grammar. Your audience will stay glued to your literary works if it has a good sense of style and grammar. It is, however, very important as you incorporate these features. You have a clear understanding of who your audience is. You don't want to lose your audience through using too complex or too simple language. And lastly, literature should sound genuine. Regardless of whether you are writing fiction or reality, there's a certain level of genuineness that needs to be felt in your literary works. You must therefore ensure that your characters are not too exaggerated and the theme you are writing about is plausible. The next question in evaluating literary qualities is, does the book exhibit the qualities expected in its genre? A good example of this is nonfiction literary work. A nonfiction literary work must only contain real-life events and factual information. Adding anyone's opinion to a nonfiction literary work would mean that the book and the author failed to exhibit the expected qualities in its genre. Now let's move on to another thing we need to consider in evaluating multicultural young adult literature, which is the accuracy and currency of facts and interpretation. So there are 4 questions we need to answer in evaluating the accuracy and currency of facts and interpretation. The first question is, are thoughts and emotions portrayed authentically? As the author is sharing or showing his or her perspective to the audience, he or she must also make the audience understand the thoughts and emotions of the character in the author's book. The next question would be, in historical fiction, is the content realistic for the period? Take note that the details and the action in the story can either be actual events, one from the author's imagination, or a combination of the two, as the author's imagination will fill the gaps in the actual events. The third question is, does the content intensify the reader's sensitivity to the feelings of others? The reader will be sensitive to others' feelings because there will be a time where the reader and the character in the book will do the same action. Thus, the reader will know what result or results will happen upon taking that action. And the last question would be, does the author present a balanced view of the issues in the book, especially non-fiction? Both in, fi- both in fiction and non-fiction, the author has the power to make a reader side with a character. In fiction, the worst consequence that the author could possibly face is the criticism of the readers, while in nonfiction, the worst consequence might be way beyond criticism, especially when it comes to articles. Alright, that's everything for my discussion. I hope everyone learned a lot and have a good day, everyone.